check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey friends, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to talk about something that is really embarrassing for me, and that is things that I regret buying. Now, I would say I'm someone that's pretty good at controlling myself when it comes to buying stuff. I'm pretty good with buying what I need or what makes sense, but sometimes I do fall into the trap and buy things I don't really need and that I regret afterwards. So today I'm sharing that with you, even though it's a little uncomfortable and embarrassing for me. So first thing I regret are these. So these sunglasses I do enjoy, but what I regret is the price. So these were really pricey. I'm really embarrassed to say how expensive this was. These sunglasses themselves are great. I bought these because I wanted sunglasses that had UV protection. My old ones I suspected did not have UV protection. That is really dangerous and bad for your eyes. I went to the store, I tried on a bunch. I have a kind of egg-shaped face, I would say. So I feel like not a lot of glasses shapes suit my face. So I tried on a bunch and these were the only ones that I liked. And then when I looked at the price, I was a little shocked, but then I bought them anyways. But yeah, I would never ever pay 200 euros again for a pair of sunglasses. That's just absolutely crazy. The next item I regret is this. Now, I've used this once, I think, but at the time I thought I absolutely need this. This is a body oil with kind of bronzy shimmer. The name itself should already tell you that this is definitely not necessary. I really thought I wanted this and needed this, and I think this was quite expensive as well, 16 euros or so. Definitely too expensive for any type of body product that you use up. But I never use this because, for one, it does or can stain your clothes, so I'm very careful when it comes to using this. And then I only use this in the summer because in the winter you're all covered up anyways. But then during the summer I don't want to be having oil on my skin and then going into the sun. That isn't too great UV rays wise. It is quite pretty, but it's just definitely not necessary and definitely not for the price. So I would not buy this anymore if I had the chance to go back in time. Next item I regret is this. This is an eyeshadow palette that I bought 4 years ago maybe. I've used it quite a few times, but I just rarely wear eyeshadow, so it just doesn't make any sense. I think I got sucked into this whole beauty makeup thing. Thought I can do that too, that looks amazing, but realistically I just never wear eyeshadow. The next thing I regret buying is this. Now, this is actually a company I started 3-4 years ago, and I definitely do not regret starting the company, even though it was not financially sustainable. I learned so much, so many incredible lessons that I don't think I would have learned otherwise. And this is the product that I sold. So this is matcha tea that I imported from Japan. It's super high quality and organic, and I kind of sold that in an online shop that I created myself. What I regret is buying so much at once. So there is this principle called lean startup. If you want to start a company, it says to build a minimum viable product at the beginning, MVP, and that just means that you start with as little as possible. The product just needs to have the essential features. It doesn't need, or it shouldn't be perfect, and this way you invest a minimum cost and then you test it out. Is the product even something that people want or would like? And that's not something that I did. I bought quite a few of packagings, quite a few stickers, quite a few of the actual tea. And since the company didn't do too well, I had a lot left over. And I just wish I had gone with the lean startup principle, where I had started simple and small. I could always buy more if the company did turn out to be quite profitable. And it was a lot of money that I spent. So yeah, I wish I had started simpler and smaller. So if you're thinking of starting a company, read up on the Lean Startup, and I highly encourage you to follow that. The next thing I regret buying is this. Not only this specifically, Johannes and I in the past bought quite a few of these plaques of the city or the place that we went to. So this one I bought when I went to Barcelona, and in the beginning of Johannes and our relationship, we bought quite a few for all the places that we went to. I think we have one for Hamburg, for Paris. We just spent quite a lot of money. They are quite pricey, and we don't hang them up because we don't really enjoy the look of them. Collecting something is always really dangerous because once you start, you kind of feel forced to continue, and we felt forced to continue to buy new plaques for each new city, and it was just so much money, and we never ever hung them up, and now I think we've even discarded them. I feel like it's a little dangerous when you go on trips. You feel like, wow, it's this special occasion, we should commemorate this with some type of souvenir. And speaking of souvenirs, I bought this when I was in London. This is an old note from Austria-Hungary. So back when Austria-Hungary was one country, super old currency. I thought it looked really cool and really beautiful, but I paid £9 for this. £9. That is a lot of money. I don't know, just because I thought, well, it's kind of pretty. I was in this random antique shop and thought, wow, everything looks super cute in here. I cannot afford anything. The only thing I can afford is a random note from a random currency. So I just bought the first thing that I could afford. And I think this is what high-end brands do. For example, Prada or Giorgio Armani, the luxury brands, what they do is they sell extremely expensive stuff that most people cannot afford, but then they sell these tiny things that you absolutely don't need, but that you can afford. So things like maybe wallets, keychains. It's still absolutely expensive for what it is, but the price is in an area where you could afford it. So you're able to say, I have something of that luxury brand, and you've just spent far too much for a keychain or wallet or sunglasses, like my sunglasses. I mean, that is just so embarrassing. And same thing with this. I wanted something from the store, couldn't afford anything, so I bought the next thing I could afford, which was this useless thing. Then, sticking to being impulsive on holidays, I bought these two bangles or bracelets in Cambodia. They're beautiful, but personally I don't wear silver. I feel like it doesn't go too well with my warm skin tone. I don't enjoy it as much as gold. So definitely something I regret. It wasn't expensive, but it's just unnecessary. I didn't need to have this. Now the last thing I regret buying is this. So this is my carry-on travel backpack. This is the backpack that I bring to all our travels. It's super handy because you can carry it on your back, but it's as big as a carry-on suitcase, and especially great if you're traveling a lot from one city to the next and you don't want to be lugging around a suitcase that you pull, especially in Europe with all the cobblestone. It's not handy at all. What I regret with this is the price. I don't fully remember how much this cost. At least 200 euros, maybe even 300. It was insanely expensive. I bought this because travel backpacks are never pretty in my opinion, and I wanted a travel backpack that I liked aesthetically, and this was the closest thing that I could find. But in the end, it's not worth to pay so much money just to have a backpack that is a little more aesthetically pleasing. Johannes' backpack was far cheaper, I think a third of the price, and the functionality is better, I would say. Just the research that they've done into their product is far better. It's a little bit less pretty, but I mean, who cares? Something that's just supposed to be functional. So these were the top things that I could think of out of the top of my mind of things that I regret buying. Maybe this gets you thinking of what you bought in the past that you regret. The main thing is that we learn from these mistakes or our purchase that we regret, so we can be wiser going forward when buying new things. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more of me on my channel on minimalism, finance, personal health and personal development, and also travel once coronavirus is over. I'm already super excited to travel. You'll see me in my backpack that I regret buying. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
It sound right, boy.